Oh look, this dude fucking blue screen. Wow. Wow. Another one's coming. Back up.
Someone's got a death wish.
Squad wide.
You are recharging shields. Started. Reloading. Firing. Target spotted. Fire. Shut up. Down one. Target in shadows. Subject depth. Gonna shut you up. Send me back. Don't die now. Reloading. My hypothesis is correct. I am unstoppable.
Joe, you're the go.
What's up YouTube, it's your guy Real Polo Joe, back at it again with another video. And today I'm going to show you my updated settings for season 6 that I used to get at least 10 KRP every season. And let me show you what I mean. Every time I at least hit master for the last 2 seasons, I have the animated badge. So that means I hit master 4 times. So 2 times for each split. Season 4 both splits, season 5 both splits. And this is the animated master badge for both of those splits. 10-10-10 badge also. I used to be a Pathfinder main. Had almost 14,000 kills with them. Placed top 3 over 1,200 times, which is a lot. I also have the 20 bomb badge and whatnot, but those are less exclusive now because of bot lobbies and things of the sort. So I feel like the the animated master badge is a lot more difficult to get because not a lot of people get master or 10 KRP. Also, I was a Caustic main too for season 5, and I got up to 250 wins before he just got old and I stopped playing with him. And this season I've been playing Revenant a lot, and I just recently got my first 1,000 kills with him. And I will hit master again this season in season 6. It is very early in the season and I'm already back to Diamond 3, which is where the real grind starts. And I'm here to share my settings with you. Of course, you know, having teamwork, comms, and everything else is a great part of getting ranked, but your settings can help you be one step above your opponents, having better settings than them. So I'm here to share my settings with you. I updated them a little bit from the last time you watched my settings. And yeah, like, subscribe, and enjoy. And if you want to get a live rank game with me, don't forget to hit that join button. And yeah, have a good one. Alright, let's get right into it. Look at the settings. So first things first is the gameplay. These first ones don't really matter as much. Got my damage numbers on stacking just because that's the way it has always been and I haven't changed it and I like it that way. But starting where it matters, the weapon auto cycle on empty. So that means if you run out of ammo and you empty the clip, it'll automatically switch weapons for you. I have this on off because when I run out of ammo, my first instinct is to press triangle, and if I run out of ammo and I press triangle, the game will switch guns and I will press triangle and it will switch me directly back to the empty gun, which will cause me to lose a gunfight. So I have that as off. I like to press triangle manually myself when I run out of ammo. Auto sprint, you need to 100% have that on. I'll get to more in detail with that later on in the video, but auto sprint, 100% have that on. That is an important step in my settings that will change your game. Double tap sprint off. You don't need that because you have the auto sprint on, and plus that's just weird. Incoming damage feedback, I have it as 3D, so you'll know around what area you get shot at or you take damage from. Taking damage closes death box menu. A lot of people have that off. but I'd rather have it on. Why, I don't know. I like, I can wait a few seconds for Costas gas to go away. Usually you can loot death boxes that's not in the vicinity first and then go get that. I'd rather, I'd rather be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to ranking up. Because you can get melted in an instant in a death box, and if you're not out of it, that could be the death of you. I know there was plenty of times where I killed people in death boxes because I realized that they have their death box menu off. Pop up on, just has its streamer mode off, and all this doesn't really matter. Colorblind, still debating on trying it. A lot of people have it on one of the other things, but this still works for me, so I'm still using it. Subtitles off, don't need any extra words or anything covering my screen, and yeah, nothing else really matters on the screen. Just the most important thing on this screen is to have the auto sprint on, and that's in the gameplay menu, auto sprint on. Now to get to the bread and butter, actually we're gonna go to a video first, because I see a lot of people asking me for my field of view. My field of view is always 106, nothing more, nothing less. 110 is too far from me, and I'm blind, so I can't see as good, so 106 is like the sweet spot for me. But field of view, I feel like it's more of a personal preference, but do not have it at 70. 70 is like, you can't really even see anything. You can only see like what's right in front of you. So try to have it at least at around 90 or 100. 110 is like the max view. 106 just works for me. Brightness, I have it turned up a little bit. I like to be able to see. Volume doesn't matter. 100% for everything. So I changed my settings just a tad bit to the ALC settings. But my button layout is one of the most important things. So a lot of people use button puncher and things like that, but I customize my own settings, and I only switch two things. So my jump is still X, but my crouch is L3. I see a lot of people using crouch for R3, but trust me, L3 is a million times better. And these three you can switch out however you need to. Well, these two, because those buttons you won't be using. Whichever you're used to meleeing with, then use that. But the crouch, L3 100%. If you have your crouch as R3, it can shift your aim a little bit as you're crouch spamming, and you could lose the gunfight before of it. But with the crouch as L3, your aim will still be fine. You won't have any problems with the aim, and you're going to be moving around anyway. And let's say you accidentally press L3 to crouch. If anything, that benefits you. But if you accidentally press L3 while aiming, that could hurt you if you press R3 rather than L3. So L3 is the best. Also, with crouch as L3 and the jump as X, you can B-hop, which comes in clutch at times. Helps you move just a tad bit faster. And you have auto sprint on, so I will never use circle ever again. That's one less button that I have to use, which is very important. Less buttons and the more easier to use your controller. And I use the standard controller also. And by the way, these settings are what I use on Xbox and PS4. The less buttons you need and the more easier it is to use your controller, the better. I still use my melee as R3. That's just what I'm used to. But I do see people using button puncher, but you can use either one. So if you have sprint as R3, you'll never use R3. If you have sprint as circle, you'll never use circle. But crouch as L3 is the best. Customized controller. Everything else is the same. Crouch as L3, sprint as circle. Melee with that. And with that, you can B-hop and do whatever you need to do. It just takes practice, but it is fairly easy once you get used to it. It's fairly easy. But let's get right back into it. And so that was my button layout. Stick is default. Interaction. Tapping used to reload. My crouch is on toggle. You can also use it on hold to B-hop easy, but toggle, I figured out how to B-hop with toggle, and it's still fairly easy. So toggle works for me, and I'm sure it'll work for you too. Aims on hold, of course. Dead zones, none. Menu cursor speed. Controllable. Very controllable. Look sensitivity. 4 on everything. Look sensitivity 4. And all the per optics are also 4. But I recently did my advanced look controls. But movement dead zone, small, very small. Inverted look off. I am not an inverted player. Vibrations on because I like to know when someone's shooting at me. So a lot of the times I'm focused on something else. Let's say I'm looting or something, or in a death box. Of course it'll kick me out the death box, but the vibration will also help me know that, whoa, I need to get out of the death box. I need to retreat. I need to do something different to make sure I don't die. So vibrations stay on for me. Custom look controls are on. Dead zones very, very small. Outer thresholds very small. Response curve somewhat. Per optic settings, I have that off because I already have everything else on 4. But if I did have it on, everything would be on 4. Yaw speed, you just have to copy and paste these to your needs. Also try it out too. Read what each and every one of them says too. Aim down sight settings. Target compensation on. Melee target compensation also on. Let me scroll back through very slowly just in case you need to see again. If you have your per optic sight settings on, for me it will be 4 everything for me, which this pretty much does it for me. Has it on 4. And these are my settings. Now let's get into the guns that I use for ranked, which is very special for you, because season 6 pretty much everybody uses energy weapons. So I'll show you the setups that I use and the things that I do. So first things first, with my settings, you want to be in the firing range practicing. I use Revenant a lot to help my teams push, and so far for season 6, all of the energy guns are monsters. You should definitely have an energy gun in your hand in ranked, even in pubs if you want to practice for ranked. But when you get into the firing range, you want to be in it and practice with these energy guns, learn the recoil and whatnot. But by far the best gun so far is the Volt SMG. And you should be using that gun in ranked for sure. It's like the best gun by far right now, besides the Hemlock. But out of the energy guns, the Volt is the best. You should be practicing one clipping the dummies, crouch spamming while shooting with the L3, one clipping them with no attachments, and yeah, that'll get you to the next level each time. One clip and make sure you're crouch spamming with it. Once you learn the recoil and whatnot, it should be fairly easy, especially with the energy guns. And also practice like doing it up close too. Up close it takes less practice because you'll be pretty much hip firing, but you should still practice it. B-hop and everything too, and up close, aim down sight, up close, not aiming down sight. Practice your movement, because with L3 it takes some getting used to. After a couple days you should get used to it though, and then you'll be able to fry. Now another gun that I use for rank, so I always use the Volt for rank because of how strong it is. I'll also use the charge rifle, which is dummy proof, so we don't need to go through that. But the Hemlock is a beast. It's always been a beast. It did not need a nerf, and anybody that watches my live streams know that the Hemlock catch bodies. Like usually 3 bursts, 4 if you're unlucky, can kill someone, especially with a headshot. 3 headshots equals 138 damage. They recently buffed the speed of the Hemlock, and so that's usually what I use for rank. The Volt Hemlock combo, it used to be R99. Like look at that. That was 2 bursts and the dummy is dead. The gun is too strong not to use. It's also extremely good up close with the crouch spam. And I use the Hemlock a lot differently from everyone else. So like from this range, I see a lot of people using it on single fire, which is fine. It still kills fast, but I just feel like burst kills faster. Extremely close, you definitely need to use it on burst. So if you're going to push somebody, make sure you have the gun on burst. But if you're extremely far, like I would say this distance, then I will use single fire. But other than that, I use my gun on burst at any range besides extremely far. And if I'm going to push up, I make sure I put it on burst before I even think about pushing up. But most of the guns this season are laser beams, and so you don't really need as much practice. The more practice that you need is mainly with the controls with the L3. Once you get used to that, this season has been pretty much a piece of cake because all the guns have been pretty much laser beams. But my setup is Hemlock Vault, and you should give it a try 100%. I guarantee you'll rank up a lot faster with these settings. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and enjoy. And if you want to get a live rank game with me, then hit that join button. And I can't wait to see you join the team. Have a good one.